Those who have been to a ruined wedding, what happened? It was supposed to be the perfect day. A dream come true for my best friend, Mia. She had been planning her wedding for over a year, every detail meticulously thought out. The venue was a beautiful vineyard up on a hill, the sun casting a golden hue over everything as guests arrived. The tables were set with white roses and candles, the air filled with the soft hum of a string quartet. Everything was going according to plan, or at least it seemed that way. I remember standing there with a glass of champagne in hand, watching Mia as she smiled nervously in her stunning wedding dress. I'd never seen her look so happy, and I felt a swell of joy for her. She deserved this after everything she'd been through. But then, just as the ceremony was about to start, things started to unravel. First, there was the groom, Daniel. I'd known him for a while, and he had always seemed calm and collected. But today, something was off. He was pacing nervously at the altar, checking his watch every few seconds, clearly agitated. I couldn't tell if it was pre-wedding jitters or something more. The guests began to murmur when he disappeared backstage just before. Mia was about to walk down the aisle. The wedding planner went running after him, whispering urgently, and the tension in the air became palpable. I saw Mia's face, and her smile started to falter, her excitement turning into confusion. The minutes stretched on, and Daniel still hadn't returned. Mia stood there, looking lost, and I could feel her heart sinking. Her parents were whispering to each other, exchanging worried glances. I had never seen a wedding so close to the edge of disaster. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Daniel returned, but something was wrong. He was red-faced, his hair disheveled, and his eyes darting around the room. He stood at the altar, fidgeting. It wasn't the nervous energy of a man about to marry his soulmate. It was the energy of someone who was on the verge of running away. And then, before Mia could even step onto the aisle, Daniel did something none of us expected. He turned to the guests, his face flushed with embarrassment, and muttered, "I'm sorry, I can't do this." The room went deathly silent. Mia's mouth fell open, and the collective gasp from the guests echoed in the space. I was in complete shock, unable to process what I was hearing. "I'm sorry, Mia," Daniel continued, barely looking at her. "I've been seeing someone else. I'm not ready for this, not with you." It was like time stopped. Mia stood frozen, tears welling up in her eyes. The sound of her heart breaking could almost be heard above the silence. Her family rushed to her side, but she didn't move. Her gaze locked on Daniel as if trying to process his betrayal. I saw Mia's mother go pale, then grab her husband's arm for support. The string quartet stopped playing, and the wedding planner was standing in the back, holding her face in her hands as if she were the one being scorned. The guests, still stunned, started murmuring, some in disbelief, others shaking their heads in sympathy. Daniel turned to leave, but Mia's voice cracked through the silence. "How could you do this?" she asked softly, the pain in her words cutting through the air. She was no longer the excited bride. She was the broken woman, trying to make sense of the impossible. Daniel didn't respond. He just walked out, and the door slammed shut behind him, leaving Mia standing there alone, in the middle of what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. The wedding was called off. Some of the guests stayed to comfort Mia. Others left in awkward silence, unsure of what to do. The reception was canceled, the food untouched, the music silenced. Mia's family surrounded her, doing their best to support her through the shock, but it was clear that nothing would ever be the same. I stayed by her side, holding her hand as she cried. The vineyard, once beautiful and full of promise, now felt like a desolate, cold place, a reminder of what was lost. Mia, though heartbroken, eventually found strength in the aftermath. It wasn't easy, but with time she moved on. She picked up the pieces of her life, with the support of her friends and family, and began to rebuild. But I'll never forget that day. The look on her face as the man she loved shattered. Her dreams in front of everyone, the ruined wedding, the lost future, all of it stayed with me long after the dust settled.
And the lesson?
Sometimes the most painful things happen in the moments you least expect, and it's in those moments that we find out what we're really made of.